What's up, everyone? Welcome back to more Reddit stories about entitled people, insane people, and everything in between. Hope you're all doing awesome, and as usual, we'll be checking out some more Reddit posts today. So feel free to share your thoughts about today's stories down in the comments, and we're getting right into it. My sister's husband basically stole a TV during Black Friday, and everyone's acting like it's fine. This happened during Black Friday. My sister and her husband Mike went to Walmart for their Black Friday sale. According to them, it was absolute chaos. Hundreds of people everywhere, barely any workers, total mess. Mike managed to grab one of the doorbuster deals, a huge 65-inch TV that was marked down from $899 to $399. Apparently, the checkout lines were so insane that people just started walking out, like literally just pushing their carts through without paying, because there weren't enough workers at registers and security couldn't handle it. And my sister and Mike joined them. They walked out with a $400 TV because everyone else was doing it, and the store should have been better prepared. The part that really bothers me is they were bragging about it at family dinner yesterday, right in front of their kids, 8 and 10, and my kids, 7 and 12. They were laughing about their amazing deal like it was some kind of funny story about outsmarting the system. I pulled my sister aside and told her this was basically stealing and sets a terrible example for the kids. She got defensive, saying I'm being dramatic and that big stores expect this kind of loss during sales, and that it's not really stealing because the store, quote, couldn't handle their own sale properly. Mike jumped in, saying I need to chill and I'm probably just jealous I didn't get any deals. I'm honestly disgusted by the whole thing. Later, my kids were asking me if it's okay to not pay for stuff when stores are really busy, which just proves my point about what message this sends. My sister hasn't talked to me since I called her out, and my parents are saying I should apologize for making drama, and that it's none of my business, but someone needs to say something, right? Am I seriously overreacting here? Everyone's acting like this is just normal Black Friday behavior, and I feel like I'm going crazy. Yeah, these are the types of parents that are going to go ahead and say these types of things in front of their kids when they're young. And then when the kids are older and they start getting into all kinds of legal trouble and trouble with the police, get put on probation, stuff like that, the parents are going to wonder, oh, why are my kids such troublemakers? I raised them better than that. It's like, no, you didn't. And also someone in the comments is talking about how Walmart has been known to use Aurora, which is a pretty advanced loss prevention technology that they use to keep tabs on people and track repeat offenders. So if these people shop at that Walmart often, they're probably going to remember them, and probably are watching them. I've also heard that some stores like Walmart will actually wait until repeat offenders have stolen enough merchandise to be considered a felony, and then they'll decide to stop them and get them arrested. So there's that too. But nonetheless, I'd imagine on a day like Black Friday, the loss prevention team is probably trying extra hard to keep good tabs on people walking out with big ticket items. So just because they got away with it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not on the radar. My ex-wife and her new husband legally made their last name my full effing name. You cannot make this crap up. I was married once. My ex-wife blew it all to hell by cheating on me with one of my closest effing friends. That betrayal crushed me, but whatever, I rebuilt. She kept my last name after the divorce. Weird, but I let it go. Fast forward, she marries the guy she cheated with. Fine, closure, good for them. But here's where it goes off the rails. Her new husband's last name is the same as my first name, so when they hyphenated, their big shiny new married surname is now my entire effing legal name. Imagine your name is David Carter. The guy she cheats with is named John David. They marry, hyphenate, and proudly announce themselves as Mr. and Mrs. David Carter, which is literally your name. They're on Facebook smiling, posting, "Here's to the new official Mr. and Mrs. David Carter." Meanwhile, I'm staring at my phone thinking, holy F, my ex-wife and her affair partner just legally rebranded themselves as me. And no, my name isn't common. People are going to see it and assume it's me. Edit, I am not on their social media. A mutual acquaintance sent me a screenshot with the adjoining text. What the f is wrong with them? My boyfriend told me he wants me to keep up with my body because he is a high-value man. I moved into my boyfriend's house 1 week ago, and I've discovered a dark side of his personality. He has been telling me what to wear, how to do my hair, not allowing me to go out by myself, and asking me to cut off my friends. We have been together for 6 months, and recently he said that I need to stop eating dinner because he thinks that he has the right to be picky when it comes to women, since he is a high-value man. He just makes decent money, he is not a millionaire. Nothing about my physique has changed since we started dating, so I don't understand why he is saying these things, knowing that he has always called me sexy, beautiful, etc. I work and pay my own bills, but he asked me to move into his apartment and live for free. I talked to my mother, and she says that I need to leave him because he is a dangerous psychopath. I just need to hear other people's opinions. By the way, I am not fat. I am a woman with an athletic build, 15 pounds over my normal BMI. Edit. Thank you everybody for the support. I've started looking for apartments and should be out within 2 weeks max. I am keeping this a secret and acting like I am happy with him to not raise suspicions. I was fooled by this man into thinking he will take care of me because he is more financially set, but this was a lure to have me trapped. I am strong and independent and will keep pushing forward. I wasn't born deaf. The school made me deaf. So firstly, backstory. This happened when I was a kid. During winter, I had gotten a horrible ear infection. So bad, in fact, I couldn't be outside in the cold for a certain amount of time, or else it would make my infection worse. And unfortunately, the school wouldn't accept me staying home to recover from it. Their solution was keeping me inside during recess. Well, it was fine until the nurse randomly kicked me out of her office, never giving a reason besides being told to pack up my art supplies and go outside to play. I listened, since I didn't have a choice. And I didn't remember the reason why I had to be inside due to an ear infection. I just thought it was because I got sick easily as a child, and because it was going to be very cold, so I had to stay inside. Anyway, I went to my teacher's classroom to grab my winter gear. At the school, instead of having lockers out in the halls, it was in the classroom, and the door was locked. So I was standing there confused about what to do until a random school staff member came up to me, asking me why I was inside. I tried explaining that I was in the nurse's office before being kicked out and trying to get my winter gear. I ended up being ignored and told to go outside. I once again tried saying I didn't have my coat, but I was dragged outside and then pushed towards the other kids, being told to play. I listened. Well, I was outside for nearly half an hour, and in that time my eardrum exploded from the infection that got worse. I had blood pouring from my ear, but was completely oblivious to it. Apparently everyone else was too, because when it was time to go inside, I was scolded by a different staff member as to why I didn't have a winter coat, or even a jacket, and was ignored when I tried explaining why. Well, later, when my mom was on the way to pick me up, that's when the school finally told her what happened and explained how I was still bleeding from my ear. My mom absolutely lost it on them and immediately rushed me to the doctor, who later rushed me to the ear doctor, where I got my first hearing aid and learned how the ear infection had gotten so bad from being exposed from the harsh winter weather, it had caused my eardrum to explode, leaving me entirely deaf in one ear and unable to hear properly without my hearing aid. And the best part, I actually had to go a while without a hearing aid, because the first material they used for my mold I ended up being allergic to, and I had to get a special material made and ordered just so I could wear my hearing aid. Well, on to the incidents, and yes, I mean plural. Many people, especially my bullies, loved just making fun of and asking about my hearing aid, confused why I needed one since I looked perfectly fine. I would just explain that I am deaf in that ear and can't hear properly without it. And if they keep pestering or won't accept my explanation and keep asking, I or even my mom, if she's with me at the time, explain that due to an ear infection, it caused my eardrum to explode, aka rupture, because me being sent out in the middle of winter and also sent out without any winter gear, and forced to go through class while actively bleeding basically denied me medical care, before finally receiving medical care. Having to go through multiple allergic reactions because the mold they used I was allergic to, and being left without a hearing aid until they could get a special mold made for me, and having to now face the reality I may never be able to hear properly again. Needless to say, this gets them backtracking fast and walking away embarrassed and guilty for making me retell this very traumatic time in my life. And they never bring it up again. Same with teachers who made a stink whenever in class I am changing my battery, because I usually have to carry a pack in case I forgot to put a new one in before the next day, and I would have to leave it sitting in the open to let it breathe for a few minutes. And that, for whatever reason, would bug people, and I would simply explain, I'm sorry, but I need to do this, because without my hearing aid being fully charged, I cannot hear properly, and I would rather not sit here being only able to hear out of one ear in a noisy classroom. That would usually get them to shut up real quick. But the good news is that I have actually gained back my hearing. Although very little, the hearing in my other ear has actually improved quite a lot, and being able to switch to online school thanks to the pandemic has helped greatly. I didn't have to struggle to hear people, and I didn't have to wear a hearing aid or leave in the middle of class to get a new battery and struggle to hear anything. And I technically can go without wearing my hearing aid, but it is encouraged I wear it since I still do struggle. Leaving my girlfriend's family dinner after what her dad said. My girlfriend, 27, invited me, 28 male, to a family dinner to finally meet her parents. We've been together for almost a year, so I wanted to make a good impression. Dinner started out fine, until her dad started asking me about my job. I work in IT, and while it does pay well, it's not some high-status career. After a few questions, he smirked and said, "So basically, you just sit behind a computer all day. Not exactly the kind of guy I imagined for my daughter." Everyone kind of laughed awkwardly. I tried to brush it off with a joke, but then he added, "Maybe someday you'll get a real job so you can actually support a family." I felt my stomach drop. My girlfriend just said, "Dad," but didn't defend me beyond that. I quietly excused myself, said I wasn't feeling well, and left. Later that night, my girlfriend texted me saying I embarrassed her by walking out, and that I should just let it go because her dad was only teasing. I honestly feel disrespected and don't think I overreacted, but now she's acting cold and says I owe her family an apology. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. Be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe as well if you want to see more Reddit content like this. So I'm out of here, take care friends, and I'll see you next time.